Hello everyone, you join me here on another special day on round number 2 of Tri-C 2023, and you join me here in the qualifying session, a very special qualifying session, actually a very interesting weekend. As you see, the person who had just left, the number 6, the number 52, and the person to the left of the number 52, the 452, they are all VLR Factory drivers. So we have some pretty good talent out here today, all weekend, and then we have our regular talent, some local talent as well, as always. So it's going to be a very competitive weekend, but at the same time, when you have drivers like this, it is an awesome opportunity to kind of benchmark yourself with people who are, among the best, but also driving in the equipment that is pretty much the best as well. So, as you may have seen before, or maybe you haven't seen before, this is a green-white checkered qualifying session, which is why you saw me being pretty aggressive on the tires, and this is actually a lap that is going to count to our qualifying session. So, you only get 2 laps, so ideally, at least the way that I like to do it, is on the first lap, not spin out, but, hold on, that may sound a little bit ridiculous, but the way we don't spin out is by not pushing too much, right? We want to set in a pretty good base, a pretty good lap. We want to get maybe, 98% of our abilities, right? But at the same time, we need to remember that the tires still haven't come into temperature, so we want to just get at least a good basis, build a good foundation just in case it all goes wrong when you're pushing at the limit for this lap right here. So to get this white flag, we have put in a good lap, but we also have seen where we can make the improvement and where the grip is. So right here, taking as much curb as we should right there, but kind of missing out a little bit there, probably leaving a few tenths behind because this whole time you're on the throttle here, right? So you want to get the best exit possible. So I kind of left some tenths behind there, but we're going to try and get a good apex here, make sure we get a good exit, get on the power early, and just kind of maybe tuck in for a little bit and make ourselves nice and slippery. But we're going to try and get a really good exit out of here. This is also another very important double right-hander sequence because it gives us this exit all the way out through there. So we want to make sure we're on the power super early. And as you see here, the camera cuts. So you're going to have to take my word for it. And you can see right here, I ended up 4th on the qualifying session behind the 3 factory drivers. So honestly, I told myself on Saturday, I was out there all day, so were these guys. If I came home with top 5 behind these factory drivers, I'd be extremely happy with myself. So, at the moment, I am extremely happy with myself. So, yes, and by the way, the camera is shutting off. I sent it back to GoPro. GoPro sent me a new one. They're actually super good about it, considering that I also cracked the screen, but they kind of they took my word for the fact that the camera was shutting off. So, thank you, GoPro. And we get a really good start here, actually, and you see here, I'm going to see if maybe we can make up a position here right on the 452, trying to follow the 52 along, kind of train him down. So he actually goes off track, lost a ton of time there, but good for us because we are up in the podium positions. We are actually jostling with these factory drivers. So feeling pretty good, but it's a long race and we just kind of have to tuck in. But unfortunately, as you're going to see in just a few moments, the camera shut off once again. So it was actually a pretty good race. I had a pretty decent battle with the number 52. He's actually a pretty good driver. I mean, they're all pretty good drivers, right? But really good racecraft, really good ability, and yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. And at the end of the day, I ended up coming back in 4th, as you're about to see here in a moment. But yeah, I was pretty happy with the results. You can see that the 452, unfortunately, losing pretty decent amount of positions. I didn't see it, but obviously now looking back at the video, I assume he probably had gone off on the first lap of the race, probably made some positions back, fought through the pack, but yeah, as we kind of get ready for the main, just as you see here, kind of pointing upwards to the sky because I need a little bit more RPM, so just kind of playing with the idle on the carburetor. And yes, we're just gonna get set here, get settled in. It is going to be the main race. We have 2 factory drivers in front of us, and we have Mr. Seth, the number 7, in front of us as well. You might notice there's going to be a little bit of borders on the side here. That's because I actually went to a different GoPro 8. Didn't really fit the case, but had to get the video, right? So get a terrible start, pretty appalling. I rate that start a 2 out of 10, but however, right here, holding our positions and making up for the mistakes that we've made almost a little bit. Let's see if we can maybe hold ourselves through there, a little bit of rubbing, and that is 10 out of 10. Disaster recovery. Very good disaster recovery by me there, but you can see the amount of time that we've lost. But thankfully, with a little bit of jostling there from the 52 factory driver making another move on his teammate, we are able to gain some time back. You can actually see how much more curb they take. They take these curbs almost as if they broke anything on the cart, they would get something new, probably for free at a very discounted rate. So, getting a terrible exit right here, the number 6 factory driver, I get a nice little dive bomb in there. So, if you're asking me where I learned that move from, he actually taught me that in practice the day before. So, go figure. Yes, so we are now up in the podium positions. This is exactly where we want to be. We have the opportunity, actually based off the pre-main, I was pretty right there with the pace on the number 52, and also Seth, we're pretty close on pace, so we actually have a really good opportunity here as I fast forward to lap number 6, a really good opportunity to maybe get a win at this. So, its conditions are slightly tricky, slightly dynamic. We see that there's just a little bit of rain on the camera, which means that there's a little bit of rain on the track as well. So, we're gonna see what we can do here. We gotta make sure we don't take any crazy risks, but we wanna be right on the limit if we wanna win this race because these two guys are fast. The people behind me are fast. I kind of compromised my exit there, thinking I can make the move a little bit too early, but we're about to see why you shouldn't be doing that, as you see me here conceding the podium position to the number 6 factory driver here. So what happened is, you make that move too early, and you compromise all that momentum that you're carrying through. So ideally, you want to try and make that move just a little bit later. So we're going to see now a little bit of change in strategy now. We know that this number 6 has been setting purple laps the whole weekend. But we're going to see if maybe, just maybe, we can kind of follow him through. So I'm, at this point, kind of expecting him to both go through second place and first place and take that lead. So hopefully, maybe we can kind of stick with him a little bit and just get that opportunity to follow him through. As you see him also, I mean, he also goes and tries to make a move just a bit too early. I mean, he didn't really have an option, but you'll see what happens. You lose just so much momentum through there. But thankfully for me, puts me back up into the podium positions as we start lap number 8, tucking in, trying to make myself nice and super slippery here. And we're going to see what we can do through here. I know that this number 6 car is it's going to be right on the back of me. I need to try to get maybe past Seth to see if I can kind of protect that podium position. Right here, I honestly probably could have gone for the move, but it's still early days. I was really focused on trying to catch the number 52. I know we were good on pace. I knew if we worked together, we could do it. And also just kind of thinking about maybe, it's a pretty heavy braking zone. Track's a bit wet. Just trying not to take too much unnecessary risk as well. But I don't know. You never know. Maybe things could have gone better if I had. But, at the end of the day, what do you know? So once again, just tucking in. I'm trying to see if maybe I can get to the back of him and kind of bump him along. But it's almost like I run out of straight. But as you see me bumping him in the wrong spots, thankfully he has some spectacular reactions to kind of keep us in place. As you see me kind of going defensive, because I knew that now the number 6 would be right behind me. But everything is good, thankfully. So lost a little bit of time there to the number 7. We're going to see if maybe we can gain back a little bit of time. It's almost halfway throughout the race, and we're hanging on. We're hanging in there. We're going to see if maybe we can just, as you see, it's actually, the visor is a bit, not the visor, the GoPro kind of picking up a little bit more water. It's starting to get a bit more wet out there. As you see, as a consequence of that, Seth almost going off track as he gets on that paint. Sometimes those painted surfaces, once they get a bit more wet, it'll definitely lose a lot more traction than the asphalt. It starts becoming a little bit more slippery. That's probably kind of what happened. So it's very important to be very careful in these kinds of conditions when you're kind of going off the line or kind of trying to push the limits a little bit. You don't want to lose sight of the amount of risk that you're actually taking. So fast forward to the end of lap number 10, you might see some blue flags being waved, and that is because there is a back marker. And this back marker here is, well, as you can see, doesn't think is a back marker, right? I mean, the amount of time that, I mean, the amount of time that we lost through there, I mean, each one of us losing a different amount of time. This kind of, I mean, this kind of helped me kind of gain the gap, gain back some of that time on the 52, sort of. But ideally, you don't want to have these back markers interfering with your race. So I lost some time. I'm kind of losing sight of them a little bit. I think I'm still gaining a little bit of slipstream. As we fast forward to lap number 12, I'm able to gain some of that time back as we see a back marker doing the right thing. And yeah, so lap number 12, we're coming in, about to start lap number 13. We are still in there. That podium position, I mean, is still in sight. The first place is still in sight. So we haven't given up yet. We still have the ability to kind of take this home and take home a lead, take home a win. So getting a really good line through there. I think that's kind of where I'm strongest. And as I review the footage, I notice that I'm pretty good through that section. And I'm also aware that while I'm racing, I know that kind of through this section here, through this bus stop section and the double right-hander, it's gonna be pretty tricky. I know I have to improve in that area, because if I can get a really good exit through this double right-hander, I'm gonna set myself up for success going into this turn as I get, you know, a nice little punt, you know, a nice little get out of the way, as is you know, not ideal. We'll leave it at that, you know, not an ideal way to be passed. And, you know, right now I'm thinking, well, they'll probably get penalized, but let's see what we can do. You know, let's not get too crazy. Let's not get too angry. We have lost the podium position, but we will lose more if we just let ourselves get all that in our heads. So you see him making another move, setting it up on the inside. This is kind of this like almost 3 wide going in through there. This is going to let me hopefully gain some time back that I've lost as I get shafted off the line. So not only am I getting pushed off the line, I'm getting pushed into a line that is wet. So thankfully I have deployed my spectacular rally skills and I was able to keep everything in line, keep everything in track. But I do believe that if I would have probably spun out or something like that, he would have definitely gotten a penalty. Because, I mean, I don't know, you don't want to, you know, send people into a wall, because that would hurt. And then, you know, the car would be broken and I'd be angrier, but whatever. It is what it is. We're going to see what we can do. I'm going to work together with Seth. Maybe as we see first and second kind of fight, the 2 factory drivers try to get back, try to gain some time. It's lap number 16. We're kind of tucking in again. And we see another back marker, but no blue flags. So this is going to get interesting. We're going to try and hope that this back marker wastes a ton of time for the first and second, letting Seth and I kind of get back into play here. And he is doing exactly that. And we'll finally get in that blue flag. I think, are they able to kind of get around them? They are able to get around this person here. And now it's Seth, the one that is being slowed down. So we're going to see if maybe we can get around right through here. Doesn't really work out. We're going to see if maybe we can kind of make a move. I think I'm too far behind, but Seth is probably going to be able to get around. But actually, he's just too far back at the moment. His exit was extremely compromised. So I'm going to see if maybe, I think I'm too far back. Ideally, I would have been able to bump him through, but it's almost like the straight is just too short and you just run out of time. So right now, first and second are running away with it. We are being absolutely slowed down by this 811 cart here. And I'm kind of just pointing. I'm kind of hoping that these people remember that this is a back marker. Like, where are the blue flags? As you see me give a nice little block pass, you know, to assert myself through there. I think is probably the best way to put it. But as you can see here, a lot of damage has been done. We are probably, I don't know, I'd say at least a second off from these 2 very fast guys. And I mean, unless they make a mistake, that first and second place is pretty much out of the picture right now. So really, best we can do right now is a podium. So let's see what we can do as we get pretty good line through there, sort of set. So I'm not really able to make too much time, but kind of getting a little bit closer. At this point, I think we're both just pretty frustrated with what's gone on with the back markers. But let's see what we can maybe do here. Let's see if maybe we can salvage a podium after all of this. After all of this unfortunate events that have come towards our way. So, trying to get a good exit. You can see Seth, I think, definitely has me beat through that section of the track. I'm kind of looking back, but, you know, at the same time, we must remember that we've lost all this time here to first and second, but that means that the guys behind us have also gained a lot of time on us. We need to be careful about what's going on behind me. So, trying to get... I don't really do too well through this section. I've definitely done better, and I think that's what happens. I'm just don't really set myself up to make a pass, make a move up on this hairpin here. Because, I mean, last lap, it's definitely worth taking that little bit extra risk to make that move right there. I mean, first and second are out of the picture. There's no working together anymore. And I'm just too far behind through here. So we're going to see if maybe we can get a better exit through here. I'm pretty close, but I think I just maybe narrowed up too much on that first right-hander. And actually, I lose a lot of time here because me and number 5 or the 5th place are rubbing up against each other, and as a consequence of the rubbing, I don't even know, just some nose-to-butt action, not ideal, you know, and having to deploy some more spectacular rally driver skills, but having to take the checkered, I mean, clear bump, but at the end of the day, kind of livid, a little hit on the points. So not only was it the back markers, but it was also getting punted by one of the drivers, kind of recovering, kind of getting back into that position to maybe fight for the podium, but then getting punted once again. So not the ideal situation here, not ideal at all. As you can see, the position was 5th. The 452 ended up getting a penalty for that, which honestly I think was pretty deserved. You know, not that I am wishing penalties on people all the time, but you know, I'd say that one was probably pretty deserved. The number 6 getting away with his actions, but yeah, I mean, you can see that the 452 actually definitely made up. I mean, 6 positions, so at the end of the day, that was pretty good. But yeah, kind of just unfortunate, to be honest. And I mean, in hindsight, if you really think about it, as you can see here, the face of anger, just as the race finished. This was taken as we went over the finish line. But if I can hang in with the factory drivers and, you know, really fight for the lead and still be in contention, I'm pretty happy with the progress that I've made. So at the end of the day, might not be the results that we've wanted, but I was able to benchmark myself against, you know, some of the best guys out there. So yeah.